The Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has recently made a significant appointment. Maryamu Idris, Managing Director of NNPC Trading Limited, is now Nigeria's national representative to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. This move strengthens Nigeria's voice in global oil diplomacy and reflects evolving priorities in the country's petroleum sector. Who is Maryamu Idris, and what is her role? Maryamu Idris currently leads NNPC Trading Limited, which handles trading of Nigeria's crude oil and refined products. Her expertise lies in market dynamics, procurement, and the logistics of moving petroleum products. As the OPEC representative, she will serve as Nigeria's point of contact in OPEC deliberations, participating in OPEC meetings, negotiating Nigeria's production quotas, engaging in discussions over global oil supply/demand, and ensuring that the country's perspectives are heard in the policy formulations that affect international oil markets, historical context, and Nigeria's relationship with OPEC. To understand the importance of this appointment, a brief look back is useful. Nigeria is a founding member of OPEC, and over decades has played a notable role in the bloc. In previous years, Nigeria's representation to OPEC has been held by senior officials from NNPC or associated divisions, who combine technical, production, and marketing experience. For example, Mele Kyari, prior to recent leadership changes in NNPC, held the role of Nigeria's OPEC representative. That Nigeria's oil sector has faced challenges, maintaining consistent production amid infrastructural issues, pipeline vandalism and oil theft, refining shortfalls, balancing domestic needs and export obligations, and navigating volatile global oil prices. These factors have often constrained how forcefully Nigeria can negotiate or advocate in OPEC. Why this appointment matters. Several reasons make Maryamu Idris's appointment significant. Stronger advocacy in OPEC discussions. With someone from trading at the helm of representation, Nigeria may be more attuned to global pricing, forward contracts, market signals, and supply/demand imbalances. This could help Nigeria negotiate smarter on quotas, buffer against adverse global developments, and press for more favorable terms. Aligning domestic issues with international obligations. Issues that affect Nigeria's ability to meet production targets, such as theft, vandalism, infrastructure decay, can now be more clearly raised in OPEC settings. With proper representation, Nigeria can seek understanding or flexibility. Revenue impacts. Oil is a major source of foreign exchange and government revenue. More effective representation may help maximize revenue by ensuring production quotas are realistic, avoiding penalties, and making sure Nigeria can make good of its export opportunities. Signal of policy continuity or change. Often such appointments signal how government views its energy diplomacy. Is Nigeria going to be more active in shaping policies globally? Will there be more transparency or a stronger push for infrastructure investment? This move suggests Nigeria intends to be more present and engaged in OPEC affairs, not just passively following. Possibility of improved market strategy. If Nigeria's OPEC representative understands both trading and production constraints well, the country might refine its strategy. More precise forecasting, balancing export versus domestic refining, hedging against price drops, better planning for demand fluctuations. Possible challenges and risks. While this looks positive, there are several potential pitfalls. Domestic production shortfalls. Even with good representation, Nigeria's ability to meet production quotas depends on solving underlying problems. Pipeline integrity, theft, refining capacity, logistics, and maintenance. Without improvements, negotiating a quota is one thing. Delivering it is another. Global price and demand volatility. OPEC members still face shocks, global recessions, demand downturns, for example due to energy transition pressures, or supply chain disruptions. These can undermine any gains from good negotiation. Conflicting interests within OPEC. Because OPEC is a collective, sometimes what's best for Nigeria in the short term may conflict with what other member states want. Nigeria may be asked to accept output cuts or quotas that limit its own potential in favor of collective stability. Environmental and transition pressures. The world is increasingly pushing for cleaner energy, lower emissions, and less dependence on fossil fuels. Nigeria will need to reconcile its oil production goals with climate commitments. Ignoring environmental concerns could hurt credibility or access to foreign investment. Institutional and governance constraints. For the representative to be effective, she needs reliable production data, transparency in operations, strong cooperation from government ministries and NNPC operations, and political backing. Weaknesses in these areas will limit what can realistically be achieved. What Nigeria should do next. To ensure this appointment yields real benefits, there are several things Nigeria may consider implementing. Fixing infrastructure and security. Repairing pipelines, securing production sites, reducing theft. These will improve capacity to produce reliably. Boosting refining capacity and value addition. Carrying value further downstream means more jobs, less import of refined products, and potentially more leverage when negotiating with OPEC. If Nigeria can produce not just crude, but refined output. Improving transparency and data. Good data helps in international negotiations. Accurate production figures, export volumes, cost of production. Transparent reporting builds credibility. Policy stability, regulators, tax regimes, environmental rules, permit systems, etc. should be stable and predictable so that investors and operations know what to expect. Engaging in energy transition dialogue. Nigeria should use its position in OPEC not just to talk about current production, but to push for support in cleaner technologies, sustainable oil/gas operations, possibly benefits or compensations as global economies shift. Liaison between domestic and international policy, ensuring that what is negotiated externally, what policy is made in Abuja, and what operations in Niger Delta or other oil-producing areas look like, all are aligned. What to watch? In upcoming months, these are key signals to look for. Whether Nigeria, under Maryamu Idris, successfully negotiates a more favorable quota or some flexibility in meeting obligations. If production output begins to rise measurably, especially in areas previously constrained by logistics, security, or infrastructure. Moves to refurbish or expand refining capacity, or new investments in downstream sector. How Nigeria positions itself in climate and energy transition talks within OPEC, e.g. gas usage, reduced flaring, cleaner oil operations. Transparency in contract bids, oil marketing, revenue reporting. If improved, that may indicate stronger institutional backing. How Nigeria balances the trade-offs of oil export revenue versus domestic fuel supply and refining. Maryamu Idris's appointment as Nigeria's OPEC representative is more than a formal change of personnel. It has potential for meaningful impact. In how Nigeria negotiates within OPEC, how it aligns domestic and international energy policy, and how it might better capture value in the oil sector.